But it's important for all of us to remember what the situation was when we came in 9 months ago, because there's some people out there who seem to have a selective memory. There's sort of a revisionist history about what was waiting for us when we began this presidency. We were facing an economic crisis unlike any we had seen in generations, losing 700,000 jobs a month, financial system on the verge of meltdown. Economists of every political persuasion, they were fearful that we might fall into a Great Depression. You remember that? And that's why we acted boldly and we acted swiftly to pass a Recovery Act that's made a difference in the lives of families across America. People don't, I think, remember where we were and where we are now. We put a tax cut into the pockets of small business owners and 95% of working families, just like I promised during the campaign. The most progressive tax cut in history. 7 million families here in New York have benefited from it. We extended unemployment insurance, increased unemployment insurance for 12 million Americans to help them get through tough times. That's helped millions of New Yorkers. We made COBRA 65% cheaper to make sure that if you were looking for a job, your family wouldn't go without health care. That was in the Recovery Act. We gave relief to states, including New York, to help prevent more teachers and firefighters and police officers from being laid off. According to initial reports, 250,000 jobs in our schools were saved as a consequence of the Recovery Act. 250,000 teachers and educational specialists. We've supported more than 30,000 loans to small businesses, including 2,000 in this state alone. We've helped create thousands of private sector jobs. But not only did we provide tax cuts, not only did we provide relief to states that needed it and individuals that were having a tough time. That's not just what this Recovery Act was about. We also happened to, in the Recovery Act, invest a greater sum in education than any time in our history, and couple that with critical reforms that had been bottlenecked in Congress for years. The Recovery Act was the largest investment in clean energy in American history. It was the largest boost to medical research and basic research in history. It was the single largest investment in infrastructure since Eisenhower built the interstate highway system back in the 1950s, and it's putting people back to work all across America, rebuilding roads and bridges and dams. So that was pretty good. That was the first month. But we didn't stop there. As Tim Kaine mentioned, we passed the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act because I think women should get the pay the same as men for doing the same work. We lifted the ban on stem cell research and reaffirmed science to its rightful place in America. We extended health care to 11 million children in this country, including 4 million who didn't have health insurance. We passed the Ted Kennedy service bill, expanding Peace Corps and AmeriCorps, creating service opportunities all across America. We appointed a New Yorker from the Bronx to the Supreme Court named Sonia Sotomayor. We passed legislation to protect consumers from credit card abuse. We passed a law to prevent abuse in the mortgage industry. We passed a law that will protect our children from being targeted from big tobacco companies. For the first time in history, we've begun to put in place a new national policy aimed at both increasing fuel economy and reducing greenhouse gas pollution for all new trucks and cars sold in the United States of America. That's in the first 9 months. The fact is, we've already had one of the most productive first years of any administration in decades.